Have you ever boarded a flight, looked out the window, and felt that small what-if chill in your spine? You're not alone. In a horrifying turn of events yesterday, Air India Flight AI171, bound from Ahmedabad to London, crashed just seconds after takeoff on June 12, 2025. The Boeing 787 Dreamliner struggled to gain altitude, issued a Mayday call, then plummeted into a college dormitory near the airport within 30 seconds of departure. The plane barely made it off the ground. Just moments after takeoff, Flight AI171 issued a chilling Mayday call before nosediving into a college dormitory near the airport. Witnesses on the ground reported a thunderous explosion, flames erupting sky high, and the terrifying sound of metal tearing through concrete. What was meant to be a routine journey turned into an inferno within 30 seconds. Early investigations point to a tragic mix of possible mechanical failure, pilot confusion, and perhaps poor pre-flight checks, raising urgent questions about aviation oversight and safety protocols. What makes this disaster even more haunting is how suddenly it happened. If you've ever been on a plane during takeoff and felt that stomach drop moment, you know how fragile those first few seconds can be. This wasn't just a crash, it was a brutal reminder that in aviation, even one small error can have catastrophic, irreversible consequences. Now let's bring it home. Did you know that over 10 million Filipinos travel abroad every year? Whether it's for work, study, or vacation, we spend thousands of hours in the skies. But are we paying enough attention to safety records, airline maintenance, or even pilot fatigue? Be honest, do you even know what aircraft you're flying in most of the time? Tragedies like the Air India crash serve as a brutal reminder that we shouldn't just check for seat sales. We should be checking safety history too. For OFWs flying to the Middle East, Asia, or Europe, many use connecting flights through budget or lesser-known airlines. Are you prepared if something goes wrong? Let's face it, most of us book flights based on price and free baggage, not safety ratings. Promo fare is enough for us to click book now, no questions asked. But behind that cheap ticket might be an overworked pilot, outdated aircraft, or an airline with a less than stellar safety record. Things we don't usually see in the booking app. And here's the kicker. Many of us only think about airline safety after a crash makes headlines. But aviation shouldn't work that way. Just like we don't wait for a typhoon to buy an umbrella, we shouldn't wait for a tragedy to start caring about who we trust our lives with 30,000 feet in the air. It's not about being paranoid, it's about being prepared, informed, and vigilant. Because when it comes to air travel, ignorance isn't bliss, it could be fatal. Here's a shocking trivia. Over 90% of air crashes happen during takeoff and landing. Even more alarming, low-cost carriers don't always meet the same safety inspections as major airlines. According to the Aviation Safety Network, there are over 100 runway excursions globally every year. This isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to empower you with information, because every Filipino deserves to feel safe at 30,000 feet. So the next time you're buckled into your seat, maybe take a moment to glance at that safety card too. It might look like a comic strip you'll never need, but it could save your life. We prepare for earthquakes, typhoons, and traffic, but not for flying. Safety shouldn't be left to luck or prayers alone. Whether you're flying to Dubai, Singapore, or even just Cebu, a little awareness goes a long way. After all, flying is still the safest way to travel, but being an informed passenger makes it even safer. Let's not kid ourselves, the Philippines has had its own fair share of aviation scares. Remember the Cebu Pacific runway mishap, or those smaller provincial aircraft struggling with outdated infrastructure. With typhoons, mountainous terrain, and limited airport upgrades, flying can be risky. Yet many Filipinos accept this as normal. But is it really normal to gamble our lives just to reach our destination? What's concerning is how quickly these minor incidents vanish from the news cycle. A plane overshoots the runway, passengers are rattled, the airline issues a vague statement, and that's it. No follow-up, no accountability, no public investigation that explains what really happened. We shrug it off, joke about praying before takeoff, and hope our plane isn't the next trending headline. But hope isn't a safety strategy. And let's be honest, how many of us actually check the airline's safety record before booking? Most travelers focus on luggage allowance or whether there's free merienda on board. But behind every promo fare might be aging aircraft, overworked crew, or outdated equipment. It's time we demand better, not just cheaper flights. because every Juan deserves to arrive alive, not just on time. Most travelers don't realize airlines are rated annually by organizations like IATA. You can search your airline safety rating before booking, but do you? Pilots need rest between flights, but staffing shortages can lead to overwork. Being informed isn't paranoia, it's preparation. Airlines won't advertise their worst safety records, so dig deeper. A quick search could mean the difference between a safe flight and a near miss. Let's normalize checking aviation reports like we do hotel reviews. Imagine this. A Filipino mother leaves her kids to work in Dubai. She boards a connecting flight in a country she's never visited with an airline she's never heard of. That flight is her lifeline to her dreams, her children, her sacrifices. One error, one crash, and everything collapses. This isn't just about planes, it's about lives, futures, and Filipino families risking everything for a better tomorrow. That's why knowing which flights are safe isn't a luxury. It's a responsibility. And let's be real, most of us don't get to fly first class with champagne and legroom. We take the cheapest fare, pray the food is edible, and hope there's no delay. But hidden in that discount ticket could be an airline with a questionable safety record, a rushed crew, or an airport with outdated systems. That's not just an inconvenience. That's a potential tragedy waiting to happen. Every OFW, tourist, and student deserves to reach their destination safely and come home in one piece. So before you hit book now, take a second to do the boring stuff. Check safety ratings, read reviews, Google the airline's track record. Because sometimes the most important travel document isn't your passport, it's knowledge, and in this case, knowledge could literally save lives. So how can you actually fly smarter and not just cheaper? First, do a quick search on your airline. Sites like airlineratings.com can tell you everything from safety audits to crash history. It takes 60 seconds and could give you peace of mind. Second, avoid flying during red-eye hours, especially if there's a storm brewing. Pilots are human too. And fatigue plus bad weather? That's not a combo you want. Next, check the aircraft model. Newer planes like the Airbus A350 or Boeing 787 have updated safety tech and better crash ratings. It's not nerdy, it's smart. Also, don't be afraid to speak up. If something doesn't feel right, whether it's weird noises, delays, or anything off, flag it to the crew. You're not being dramatic, you're being proactive. And here's a subtle hack. Book an aisle seat close to the emergency exit. Studies show it improves your chances in an evacuation. These little steps won't cost you a single peso more, but they might just save your life. And here's something most travelers don't think about. Pay attention during the safety demo. Yes, even if you've flown 50 times. Don't just scroll on your phone while the flight attendant shows you how to use a life vest. In an emergency, muscle memory matters more than you think. Knowing where your nearest exit is and how many rows away it is can mean the difference between panic and action. Lastly, trust your instincts. If something feels off before takeoff, a mechanical delay, strange noises, or even how the crew is behaving, don't be afraid to ask questions or request to deplane. You'd rather feel silly for being cautious than regret not speaking up. In a world where safety sometimes takes a backseat to profit, your awareness is your first line of defense. Let's face it, we can't control everything that happens in the skies, but we can control how informed we are before we fly. As Filipinos, we're known for our resilience and optimism. But when it comes to safety, it's okay to ask questions, do research, and demand better. The Air India tragedy is heartbreaking, but if it wakes us up and helps prevent future loss, then maybe those lives weren't lost in vain. So before you book your next flight, remember this: your destination can wait. Your life is priceless. Choose wisely. Thank you so much for watching and for caring about stories that matter. If this video helped you see air travel and safety in a different light, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who flies often. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next deep dive into issues that affect Filipinos here and around the world. Stay safe, stay informed, and as always, ingat sa biyahe.